Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Women's Wellness Lounge Show. I'm your host, Elena Watkins, and we are finishing up the final show in our Becoming Her series. And it has been an amazing month. April is National Minority Health Month, and we have brought you different aspects and areas of where women need to improve their health. Now, last week we were talking with the doula, and we were talking about the instances of maternal mortality. Well, this week our special guest is Sheila Hall, and she is what I like to call sort of like the all around, like packaging all of that health and wellness that we've been talking about. And she brings to us like this, what I call a special set of superpowers. So, you guys know I love anything that is new, innovative, and I like to entertain anyone who just has that ultimate passion for women's health and wellness. And so we speak the same language. It's almost like one of those things where you find your person and you know that that person is truly dedicated to the same mission as you. And Sheila Hall is definitely that person. So I know you guys are going to enjoy her. So I'm going to bring her on to the show and have her introduce herself to you and let you know what it is that she does in the space of health and wellness. So, hello and welcome, Sheila. How are you this evening?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you, Delaney, for having me.
Absolutely. So, I did like a little bit of edification to tell the folks about
Okay.
you and even gave, let them know about that whole superpower and what
Mm.
you actually do is what I want you to share with them in a little bit more depth and knowledge. I know that I kind of put out there that you um, are a holistic practitioner, but break that down and really tell them in your own words what it is that you're passionate about and kind of how you do
Ooh, wow. Let's see.
it. Exactly. See, that's why I didn't want to do it because I know that you do a lot and that you would be able to break it down. So I guess, you know what? First of all, tell us why you got into health and wellness.
And that's where I was gonna really start. And
Good. Yeah.
because my story started out, I always loved the earth. I used to feed my brother flowers. And so my brother had passed away from HIV. And at that point, I was thinking, if only I knew how to help him, that maybe, it would have been a better outcome because back then they was giving him these medications and these creams, and nothing seemed to work. And by me, at that time, I was already studying clinical herbalism. And I thought, only I knew how to make something to help them, how to um, make the transition better for me. And that's what really got me into studying a lot of holistic practices. I was going to go to college to be a naturopath, but that's when 9/11 hit. And so things shut down, and so did I. So I just started taking courses. And one of the courses I started off with was reflexology. And from reflexology, I went to also I integrated herbalism into that, clinical herbalism. Then I went to aromatherapy, and then lastly, other than massage therapy, I took a clinical course for functional medicine. And the functional medicine happened because of I was going through menopause. And I didn't know that I was going through menopause, but I couldn't lose weight. And I kept telling my trainer that something's wrong. Um, but I knew it wasn't from menopause, the weight gain, it was from something else. And that's when I started studying functional medicine, and I was right. And so I always try to tell people to find
Mhm.
the root cause of things, because there could
Yes.
be something that's like totally, you really don't even know what it is until you actually find out where it come from. And so all of that formed into my spa. I have a wellness spa
Mhm.
and an herbal shop in Randallstown, Maryland. And so that's what I
I
do.
love that journey. No, honestly, that's why I said, you know what? It's better to start with the why and like why you got into really that whole um journey of health and wellness. And it generally starts with something that you're passionate about or
Yeah.
that you are trying to solve a problem or a pain point. And it sounds
Mhm.
like for you, all of those things kind of developed into you becoming where you are right now, currently, right? The whole
Exactly.
becoming her. And so that was very powerful, just really listening to, wanting to solve the issue with your brother, being able to transition a little bit better, and then
Mhm.
things happening, and then you going into reflexology and then clinical herbalism. I like all of it because here's my point for saying that not only are you solving a personal issue, but on a greater scale, the knowledge that you have and the things that you've been able to develop will also ultimately solve other people's problems. And you guys
Yeah.
know I'm about to say something about that whole menopause piece because my
Girl.
queen, yes, the journey for me, like initially, of course, me becoming a nurse years and years ago. However, there's specific things that I honed in on my path to health and wellness, and sugar was one of them. Wanting to help people prevent diabetes, and so I had this whole
Yeah.
sugarless program and all of that, and then that is fine and great and good. And then suddenly, personally, I was dealing with trying to understand what was happening with my body through menopause. And so I had
Mhm.
to put a pin in that and say, okay, wait a minute, stop. We've got to figure this out because I couldn't find out hardly any information. There was no one really talking about it. There's hardly
Right.
any practitioners here in the area that I can find, even in the United States, period, right? That
Yes.
are what you call menopause specialists. They're all abroad, not here.
Right.
So that piqued my interest even more. And so, Sheila, that is what I commend you on because you were like, told your personal trainer, wait a minute, there's something not quite right here. There's something going on. I know my body. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit more about that because I always say to women, and to my clients, to anybody that I'm speaking to, I always say, make sure that you truly understand what's going on with your body. There could be one thing, there could be a set of things that ultimately could lead you to the one thing. But at the end of the day, it all needs to be directly related back to a root cause. So, talk to us about that, about the importance of understanding a root cause of what we symptomology may see.
Yes. Functional medicine is primarily based on finding the root cause of any imbalance or
Mhm.
disease. So you think of like an onion, and so you might know on the surface it's an onion, but do you actually know what could be underneath of that onion? So you start peeling away different things to find out what part of that onion isn't right, isn't, might be browned or something like that. So as we look into functional medicine, we peel back different layers to find out where that thing is coming from to keep you in balance. For instance, it could be something like diabetes, it could be, cholesterol. It's not just giving you medication or telling you to change your diet, it's actually trying to find out what are you eating, specifically, what are you eating, how you're eating it, and why is it causing you to increase your sugar. Or you might say, I keep having these headaches and I don't know why. Functional medicine actually find out where those headaches are coming from instead of you just taking an overload of Motrin or something. So with me, um, I knew that I was exercising correctly because I'm also a trainer. So I knew I was exercising correctly. I knew I was eating correctly, but it's like I got to this standpoint where I couldn't lose any more weight. And I kept telling my trainer, something is wrong. And they actually thought that I was like sneaking off and eating pizza and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do.
Right.
So I
Yes.
went and I was frustrated. It just had me
Mm-hmm.
thinking how many women give
Yes.
up because
Mm-hmm.
they know that something's wrong, but that other person isn't listening and makes
Right.
them feel like they're the bad person. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing something wrong. So I just forget it, forget it. But instead
Absolutely.
of doing that, as functional medicine, I decided to take it's called a gut analysis, and
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
right.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah.
I was right. It was one little bacteria that's involved in
Mm-hmm.
helping to break down the fat that was out of whack, and that's what was causing me not to completely break down the fat.
And
That
lose
one
weight.
little thing, and I was like, and then
Yep.
of course, COVID shutdown hit, and then it like didn't matter. But
Right. And then
that
we all got the
was
COVID, what I call the pandemic pounds and the quarantine 15. I think that hit everybody, including
right.
me.
I was
Yeah.
like, I did all that work to find the root cause, and then I'm like, you
Hmm.
know what?
Yeah. And now
But
look.
yeah, now I was able to function on um figure out how to now bring it back into balance so my body could get back into balance and do what it's supposed to do. And so it's just like when people can't sleep, for instance, and
Mm-hmm.
they may think, I have insomnia, I'm too stressed. Stress could be a reason, but they don't even know. It could be you're not pooping every day.
Right.
That's why you're not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It's like little
All
things
of
like
these
that that could be
things,
so
right?
easy.
Like I said before,
Right.
all of these little small things that can add up to one big thing, but really looking at the root cause of it, right?
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
one thing you said is that whole gut analysis. A lot of
Ugh,
people don't realize that your gut plays a huge role in
yeah.
a lot of times illnesses and various symptoms that you're experiencing
Right.
can lie in your gut.
Yeah. That's why I always say this, like the disease begins in the gut.
Hmm.
And the thing about it is how your gut talks to your brain. So if
Yeah.
something's going on wrong in your gut, it's telling your brain, and your brain is like, "Oh, okay, we need to shut that down." And it's like,
Yes, and that's the way that it responds. Absolutely. It's all interconnected. Yeah. So I want to thank all of the people that are joining us live. I'm looking out. I see Angela. I see Chris. Thank you guys both for joining us live. We are airing this live via social media, Facebook on my personal page, in the Women's Wellness Lounge, of course, and on our Women's Wellness Lounge YouTube. Please make sure that you comment, share, like, and anything that you hear, make sure you just let us know. Again, we have our special guest here tonight, Sheila Hall, and we're just talking about being able to look at what's going on with you symptom wise, how to approach getting on a healthy journey and understanding that oftentimes what you may be experiencing should not be you thinking this to yourself, oh, I'm going crazy, like I'm having a difficult time losing weight. That you really should know and be responsive to the things that you're seeing, noticing, and or experiencing with your body, and how to be able to articulate that and share with your healthcare provider, your personal trainer, and let them know that, wait a minute, I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to do, but I've realized that this is happening or this isn't happening, and how important that is when we're talking about getting on a healthy journey. Now, I want to switch gears here just a little bit. I know, Sheila, we were talking about functional medicine and us being able to really hone in on what may be causing some of the symptoms or some of the things that we're experiencing. I won't call everything a symptom, but just some of the things that we're experiencing. I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about you talked about feeding your brother plants. And so herbs and, being a herbalist. Speak to that just a little bit when we talk about getting on a holistic or just a health and wellness journey. Some of the benefits of having a plant-based diet and some of the benefits that primarily us as women can
Mhm.
really embrace as a result of a plant-based diet.
It's we really do not get a sufficient amount of vegetables in our diet. It's like I don't care if you eat vegetables every day. It's we really don't get enough. And the other thing to that is the way our food is grown is probably it probably don't have the right amount of nutritional value in it that it should. So I tend to lean a lot to herbs because herbs they are first. Let me make a little disclaimer here. People just buy herbs. They may say they want some oh, what's a good one? Ginkgo or ashwagandha or something like that. And they'll go to the store and get it, or maybe even order it online. Please, please, please go to a reputable place where they harvest the herbs in the right soil, in the right atmosphere. Is the same way I always tell people, it's the same way if you need some a prescription, you go to somebody on the street and get it instead of to your pharmacist. So it's the same way if you go to the wrong person to get your herbs, it can have kind of the same effect. They are very powerful and they're nothing to be played with. They actually have a physician's reference books for herbs. So that's being said, come to me and I'll give it to you. But they it doesn't take a lot for them to do a lot. They are very powerful, and I found ways to kind of just incorporate them into your diet to give extra nutritional value. So, like in my shop, I actually make seasonings using medicinal herbs, so people can eat their vegetables, put the seasoning on there, and it has the medicinal herbs in there,
Yes.
and so it's like
I like that. Oh my goodness. I had to come on screen and show you my clap for that. So,
I
what
know
is
I
the
was like
yes. Oh my
because
gosh. I have been
people used
dying.
to
So there was
always
this
ask
one
me.
person that I used to get them from, and he no longer does that. So I got to make sure that I go to your website, which we're going to share earlier. I mean later, um, about the herbs that are
Mhm,
in, oh my gosh, that are in some of the cookies. Right, that was one of the what I would get passive ways for me to get herbs. Was for
mhm.
me to cook with them as seasoning. Oh my
Yes,
goodness,
yes.
that's awesome, Sheila. I didn't know you had that. Okay.
Yeah, because I had so many people asking, always asking me, what you have for diabetes? What you have for this? And I despise taking pills in any
Yes.
form. I just don't like them. So I was like, "You cook, right?" So I was like, "What if I was to put
Yes.
that in your seed? So it wouldn't be anything you had to think about taking. You would already take it because you used this seasoning.
Right.
So it's
And
just
I
like,
think it encourages people to eat more vegetables as
right,
well, and the
right,
right protein. So not only are you getting your, fresh vegetables,
hmm
seasoned with some herbs, but you also again can season it with the proteins. So that's like
yeah,
a
oh
one, two,
yeah,
three fold. That's like a three
right,
prong way for you to get your proper. Oh, I like that. Okay, good. Yeah, I
yeah,
used to like 2 or 3 years ago, but he stopped making them. I'm not sure why. I think because he kind of changed his direction for what he was doing in
right,
his business, and I have not been able to find anybody that did the seasoned
yeah,
herbs. So yeah,
yeah.
okay, good.
And the way a lot of herbs to get the best value out of it depends on how you fix it. So that's where you have your tinctures and your syrups and all that stuff.
Okay,
Some of them don't work well if you fix them the wrong way. So you
right.
have to know which ones and how to take it. So
Ex-
and that's another thing. It's like you can probably I see that a lot with turmeric um and curcumin, and people will put a lot of it, they'll drink a lot of it or take a
mhm.
lot of pills, and then all of a sudden it's like my back hurt. It
Yeah.
doesn't really like your kidneys too much, so
Hmm.
you need to
Yeah.
kind of back up off of that. So maybe you should be taking it in a tincture if you really need it or something like that instead of the pill because it's the way it dissolves in your bloodstream.
Right. The way
So
that the body processes it and breaks it
yeah,
down is different. Yeah. So what
Yeah.
are the top I guess three? I know I heard you mention the ones that we all see regularly when you kind of did the disclaimer, which was good because like you said, oftentimes something will catch fire and then people will start running to their local, drugstore,
Right.
CVS, Walgreens and say, "Oh, I need some,
Hmm.
ashwagandha or some ginkgo biloba or some
Yeah.
ashwagandha." Just some of the ones that we hear regularly. So what are the top
Right.
three herbs that you feel that women should definitely, and we're talking women in their perimenopause,
Mm.
menopausal, postmenopausal years, so like that 45, 55, 65, on up window. What are
Yeah.
like some of the top three that you definitely recommend that would be beneficial for us to um, be taking?
Um, let's see. I think maca is good.
Okay.
Um, and I don't mean hot chocolate, some maca and rose. I'm just
Right.
saying. Anyway, because of the stress, that we go through
Right.
the whole stress thing and the sleep imbalances. So maca is rosemary,
Rosemary. Okay.
um,
Good. I was getting ready to
ashwagandha,
ask you about that rosemary, or is it red clover? There was one that I
red
was
clover,
red
red
clover.
clover, red
Yeah, red
clover.
clover.
Yes,
Okay.
that's like number one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, red clover. So that's good. Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
just started looking into red clover again as we were talking about menopausal and then again looking at some of the herbs that are beneficial to women that are going through that. So I know, yeah, that red clover
yeah,
is another good one.
yeah.
So
And I
and
think red clover you can even eat wild. I mean, you can eat it in your salad, so
right.
it's like really cool.
Yeah, because I'm all about eating. Like I am not a pill taker. Like so anything that
Yeah.
I can naturally, like you said, do with the seasoning and the spices, anything that I can do and kind of ingest that way is best for me
Hmm.
versus taking it
Yeah.
in pill form. But again, like you said
Right.
before, do your research and make sure that, again, your herbs, just like you would with the prescription
Hmm.
medication, make sure that it's coming from a well um,
Yeah.
researched
Right.
manufacturer or someone who's growing it in the right soil.
Yeah.
I said
And
oil,
I
right
think by
soil.
them being like
Not oil.
herbs, people don't really think of them as being as powerful as they are.
Oh yeah,
And
they
so
definitely are.
it's like,
Yeah, they are. To me, herb is just as powerful as the medication that it's almost like the herbs should have a periodic table as well when you think about,
right.
having prescription medication. So yes, herbs are powerful as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you want to make
And the
sure that
only reason why they're not in prescription form is because the scientists they can't continually get the
right.
same,
Yeah.
dynamic for herbs. Herbs, they live in the earth. They're gonna do what they do. So
Exactly. So it's not going to come out to be H2O plus
right.
CHO, right? It's never going to be that precise. It's going to be very soil
Yeah.
driven and like you said, the elements that they're grown in as well.
Right.
So that can shift and change. No two herbs will ever be the same
Yeah.
grown in that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So that's why. Yeah. So, but it is very
Yeah.
powerful. And yes, we do highly recommend that. But again, just like with anything, make sure that you check with either an herbalist, a
Right.
naturopath, or someone who is, understanding and studied in um, the herbal arena.
Yeah. And that's very important because since herbs are so powerful, if you take a medication, it can
Yeah.
kind of hurt
Yeah.
your medication. So you got to be careful with that too.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, because a lot of people think that if a herb isn't prescribed, that they're taking it, that it won't interfere with any prescription medication that you're receiving, but it actually can. So again, when you're going to see your healthcare provider or naturopath or clinical herbalist, please make sure that you let them know what other prescribed medication that you're consuming as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
All right. So now we're going to shift gears again. So that was second gear. Now we're going to go into third gear. So, because I
Okay.
swear when we're on this show and I'm like having such great dialogue and going back and forth, that time will come and go like that. I'm like, dang it.
I
I had
know.
like 55 more questions that I wanted to ask. But,
I know. I'm like,
all right,
what? What time is it?
like, wait a
I
minute,
know.
dang, the time's already gone by. All right. So I know with reflexology and massage. So let's just talk a little bit about that piece of it and the benefits of having either or both, or just looking at other ways that in which, those type of what I call physical modalities can help and assist us with our healthy journey, as well as any ailments that we may be in, you know,
Yeah.
having to deal with, and that we're trying to manage. So again,
Yeah.
we always look to what we can take, what we can do, but there's some other things that we can do physically that can
Right.
impact our, healthy journey and coming out on the other side of illnesses as well. So talk to us a little bit about that, because you lay hands, Sheila. Okay, I've seen you at work. You lay hands, reflexology on the feet, and you do, massage. And so there's some benefits to that as well. I
Yeah.
told y'all she was the whole package. Okay. So tell us the benefits of that as well.
Oh my gosh, that is like my passion. Hands. So with people, I find that people tend to think if you was to get a massage, for instance, even go to a spa, for instance, that it just a luxury, where you should look at it more as a really health and wellness benefit. Um, I do massages, mostly therapeutic massage. So massages can help with your circulation, any pain, joint health, even help with sleep management. We do like vibrational sound that helps with the 4 layers of sleep. So if you have insomnia, that's like really cool too. But reflexology is one of those things that just like it seemed to me, just like menopause, how you hear a lot about it over in the UK, but not in the United States. That's the same thing with reflexology. There's been so much research on it, how it can help people, especially with lymphoma, infertility, um, pain, numbness. There is like so. First of all, reflexology isn't just done on the feet, it can also be done on the hands or the ears. And the way that it's done is like doing different acupressure massage points that's on your feet, and it helps to stimulate the energy centers throughout your body. So they are now using reflexology a lot in with patients who are getting ready to have surgery in order to help them release some stress and some pain before surgery, and also to help them when they come out. They find out that they recover quicker after surgery. So I think that was like really cool. But
Absolutely.
recently, like the last
Mhm.
few weeks, I had did some a volunteer work for women who went through breast cancer treatment. So
Mhm.
and a lot of them came with pain and numbness and different things. I can tell a lot
Mhm.
was going in their body because of
Right.
their feet. We always say our soles of our feet talks
So
to
I was
us.
getting ready to say the soles and feet, right? Is when it'll tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what this one time I actually felt a emptiness in someone's
Mm.
foot and found out that she had both breasts removed. I didn't even know that. And that was like really cool. Wow.
Wow. That's
And
powerful, Sheila.
I know. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it because I was at this thing and I was working and I didn't say anything till I stopped because I was like, this feels really strange. It just feel like I'm
Right.
going to go right through her foot.
That's
Of course, it
powerful.
was nothing wrong with her foot, but that's the feeling I got. And she said she had both breasts removed.
Wow.
Woman
That's
had
powerful.
brain cancer, lung cancer, and I think it was liver cancer. There was a line going straight down her foot on her big toe, all the way down her spine. And I knew
And that's
something was wrong in this when she told me. Yeah, it was
yeah.
crazy. And
Wow.
so, and after the treatment, they felt so much better because now they're not having that pain in their feet or the pain
Right.
in their back they were experiencing. So it's really, really cool. I think everyone should experience at least one, and then you'll come back for more
Yeah, because then
reflexology.
you'll realize, right, exactly what the benefit is, because you will have been
Yeah.
able to, yeah. see it for yourself. And I like the fact that you said therapeutic massage, right? Most of us, when we think massage, like right
Yeah,
now, people
think
that's
about being
listening
on the
and
beach.
watching, yeah, we're thinking, oh, it's spa day, it's self-care day, and we're just want,
Right.
not that that's not, contraindicated, and we don't
Yeah,
say, definitely go and, have a massage for those purposes and reasons as well. But what we're saying is that there's also a health benefit to having a
yeah.
massage and, experiencing reflexology as well is, kind of the point. But
Listen,
yeah, I like people to rub on me and kind of get the tension out as well, right? The
yes, I
benefit
mean,
that,
stress is the number
mhm,
one, so
for
it's like,
sure. Like a
go
whole
get
new
them
body
crazy
coming out
pills.
of there, right? Feeling like jello, kind of like just like guess release all that, especially deep
I
tissue.
remember it was this comedian, he was old, he used to smoke this cigar and everything, but
Oh,
he lived over 100, and they used to ask him, "What are you doing to keep yourself, keep going?" He said, "I get a massage every day." I was like, "Yes."
oh yeah. Your guy, he was speaking your language, wasn't he? He was like,
Right,
yeah.
right.
See the benefit.
I wish he was my client.
Right.
Yes,
But
yes.
because there's a lot that's happening again, right? Not only are you getting the
Yeah,
blood flowing, the lymphatic system, like you talked about before,
right.
the deep tissue, muscles, you're helping to release the cells and
Release
just get things
toxins and
moving. There's
stuff.
a lot
Yeah,
that happens, right? So even
yeah,
though we say again, you're thinking of massage as being something that's, kind of, a good thing or pampering type of
yeah.
modality, it also is a therapeutic modality as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, all right. So
Exactly.
as we are wrapping up, Sheila, there's
Okay.
another thing before I'm going to put your website up on the screen, SheilaLHall.com. But
Yeah.
I want you to tell them about one last thing before we go. I know I said that was going to be the last thing, but I just remembered that I said we were going to talk about the breathing part, right? So you have this
Ah,
group. See, you said too, because the Black
yes.
Girl Breathe, right? Did I get that right? And we talked about
Brown
this.
girls breathe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brown Girls Breathe. So the benefits, just really quickly, of
Okay.
meditation and just being able to breathe and release blockages. So just talk about that really
Yeah.
quickly. And I put your website up
Okay.
there as well.
So I started doing this a circle for women of color because of the stresses that we particularly go through, and found out that we don't really talk about it. So it was an opportunity to share with each other different things that may be going on with us. And it was an opportunity to experience how to release that certain tension. So with breath work, you can actually reduce stress and anxiety, and it's also used a lot for grief and depression. That's how I got started into it. Menopause, grief and depression, and breath work. It increases like your energy levels. It boosts your immune system. It can help you improve sleep, increase self love, and even reduce pain. So these are things I guess we don't really think about, how the air we breathe can actually help us release all that built up toxins and anxiety that we have in our body by exhaling it out. Um, so that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Breath work is so powerful.
Yes,
It's
it
really
is.
powerful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I saw you point it out and point at the screen, talk about, yep, menopause. That again is, for me, yep, I had to get back to doing that breath work. Number one, it was me helping myself to become centered, because scatterbrain, I was getting frustrated with not remembering things and just wondering what was going
Mhm.
on, the anxiety of it all, and slowing down and really getting back into my breath work, because I had gotten away from doing that, as well as getting centered, with meditation.
Right.
Through menopause, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I have got to figure this out. So, yes, it was a time when I had to go back to really creating that as a modality for myself as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, I think without that, I probably would have done the
Mhm.
suicidal thoughts in my head. I probably
Yeah,
would have actually done them if it wasn't for breath work.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, yeah, it can be really powerful. That's
Absolutely.
what menopause did to me. It sent me in depression and
Hmm.
suicidal thoughts.
Yeah. And again, this is why us talking about this and having this conversation so that women can know, oh, so that's what I'm experiencing, or let
Right.
me explore this as a potential, treatment modality, or let me talk with
Yeah.
my healthcare provider about this because I was unaware of that. So that's the
Right.
reason for having these discussions in the Wellness Lounge, talking about becoming her. So Sheila, you also have an event coming up, like a spa day as well. So, is there
Yes.
information on your website? I still have your website up, SheilaLHall.com. And what
Yeah.
day is your event?
Okay, my event is next Saturday. It's in Randallstown, Maryland, at my spa, Unique Scripts Wellness Spa, from 10 to 2. And it's an opportunity to get a little piece of everything: massage, reflexology,
Mhm.
foot baths, infrared light therapy. All of that will be included, and food and stuff. And so, um, if you go to my other website, and I'm going to spell it to you: EISTRONGHERBAL.com. So that's the herbal website. It's strongherbal.com.
Okay.
You
All
can
right.
find the link in there to the spa day.
I just put
So
it up
and
on the
plus,
screen. So EIStrongHerbal.com.
yeah, yeah.
See how quickly I did manage that behind the scenes. So
That
that's
was
the
so cool.
website. That's the
Yeah.
website for her event. So please go there. Also check out her personal website, SheilaLHall.com, to find out everything that she shared on tonight's show. If you want to read more in depth about Sheila and what she offers, and to connect with her as well, I strongly suggest connecting with her. Even if you wanted to just do a consultation with her,
Mm,
definitely connect with
yeah.
Sheila and her EIStrongHerbal.com for the event that's coming up. Sheila, thank you so much for joining us this evening on the Women's Wellness Lounge show. I truly
Thank you.
appreciate you. You were the absolute guest that I was looking for, longing for, to wrap us up with the National Minority Health Month, as we have been sharing all month long about the various things that we as women of color experience as it relates to our health when we talk about National Minority Health Month. So I'm hoping that something that you shared, even if tonight's episode was the first time that you watched the Becoming Her series, you can go back and watch previous series on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and share this video, as well as invite women to come into the Wellness Lounge on social media, or again, as I said, to share the website. So I have two different projects that I want to share, and I want to put the first one up on the screen, and that is our She Is Well anthology. So before I end tonight's episode, I wanted to put the sheiswellbooks.com website up there. Again, if you have a story of truth, triumph, and truth, trauma, and triumph, make sure that you go to sheiswellbooks.com to become part of this final anthology. This is the third book in our series, and so we are wrapping up our final authors to become contributors to this book. This is the She Is Well series anthology. And this is one of the books right here behind us. This is the very first book in our series. So we've had this one. This is book one. And then we have book two. And that third one will be the final book in our series. The second project that we're working on is actually one that is near and dear to my heart. And this is one for women who are experiencing, currently going through treatment, or who have been survivors, or as they like to call themselves, and I like to refer to them as thrivers of breast cancer. And this is our Pinky Promise Project, which is also a fundraiser through the Women's Wellness Lounge. Our proceeds from this particular book will benefit women in the getting a Pinky Promise care package. And that's for women who are going through treatment. We provide them with bags as they sit and receive chemo, radiation, and various treatments that they need um, throughout their battle with breast cancer. So we're looking for caregivers, again, women who are going through breast cancer, who have, again, thrived through their breast cancer journey to become contributing authors in this book. And what we want you to share is just a poem, some affirmations, positive words of encouragement, and a snippet of your own experience to encourage another pink sister as they're going through breast cancer. So that's it, ladies. Thank you so much for always joining us, always being interactive and sharing. And I pray that something that was shared with you tonight, that you were able to say, I think I understand now what I'm experiencing, or I want to talk with my healthcare practitioner a little bit further about something that you may have heard on tonight's episode with my special guest, Sheila Hall, and myself. So for the month of May, we are have a week dedicated to ourselves as Women's Health Week. So we have some special activities planned for that particular week. And I want you to visit the womenswellnesslounge.org or DelenaWatkins.com for more details about that as we finalize that. But we're going to be taking our show kind of out in the community for the month of May and just changing things up just a little bit. So make sure you stay tuned for those details, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.